This is the second generation Apple TV 4K. Unwrapping the device, you can see that it looks exactly the same as its predecessor, but it's clear after a short time of using the device that there's more than meets the eye. I've been using it for about a week now, and it's clear that there's some significant improvements over its predecessor, ranging from a redesigned Apple TV Siri remote to increases in performance. So taking a look at the box, you can see that they're highlighting App Store, AirPlay, AirPods, and pairing 2 HomePods, even though HomePod has been discontinued. Now opening the box, we can see that the Apple TV itself, the new remote, the power cord, and USB to Lightning cable for the remote, and a quick start guide. With the same design as its predecessor, the only way to tell this is the new Apple TV 4K at first glance is the brand new redesigned Siri remote. Considering this is the biggest change between the two generations, this is a good place to start. If you've never had an Apple TV before, then you won't understand how significant these improvements to the remote are. First up, we have the overall feel of the brand new remote. In a surprising turn for Apple, they've actually increased the thickness of the remote over the last generation, and it leads to a much firmer and more sturdy hold than the previous gen. The sides have sharp edges which feel a lot more familiar if you're someone who's been using iPhone 12, and it also gives you more grip in comparison to the previous generation, which was more rounded. The confusing menu button has been appropriately renamed as a back button, a mute button has been added to the bottom left corner, and a power button has been added to the top, which is much more convenient than having to hold the home button and hit sleep on previous generations. This is the first time you're using an Apple TV remote where you don't have to Google how to turn it off. To make room for these new buttons, the Siri button has been relocated to the right side of the remote, and the trackpad is where things get interesting this year. Before, where you would swipe along the trackpad or tap in any direction, they've made it much less complicated by giving you directional buttons like pretty much every other remote on the market. There's a select button in the middle of the dial, and if you are somebody who liked using the gestures from the previous generation, this whole thing also becomes a trackpad so you can swipe along just like you could on the previous generation. They've also incorporated a new click wheel feature that stems from the long line of iPod lineups, where you can spin the dial around to either fast forward or rewind. Simply pause your video to see the thumbnail, and then hold your thumb on the top of the dial until you see the circle symbol on screen, and then you can swipe along to fast forward or back to rewind. This feature is great, but it does take a while to get used to. My only complaint with this remote is that they've moved the play pause button up to where the Siri button was on the previous generation. So if you are somebody who was using a previous generation, this remote's going to take a while to get used to, and you will definitely hit the mute button when you mean to hit pause quite a few times until you get used to it. Getting to the Apple TV itself, while it looks the same as its predecessor, it's made some significant improvements on the inside, and that all starts with the brand new A12 Bionic Chip. This means that the Apple TV is much faster on all fronts, and while I didn't think this was a big announcement when I first heard it, after using it for a week, I've got to say, it is major, and the effects are immediately noticeable. Now, I don't know if it was just me on the previous generation, but I was starting to feel like it was slowing down quite a bit. I was getting app crashes, and even things like playing and pausing were taking longer than they should have. Ultimately, it felt due for an upgrade, and the brand new Apple TV rises to that challenge. In addition to these speed improvements, we've also got double the frame rate on the new Apple TV 4K, and that leads to a much more crisp picture and much smoother motion on screen. Another new feature is the color balance feature, which uses your iPhone's screen and camera to determine the light that's being outputted, and it's able to easily calibrate the color of your screen and really improve the color no matter what room that you're in. You can see the difference between original and after color balance here. So that's really all that's new on the brand new Apple TV 4K. And while it doesn't seem like that many improvements, I would still say it is a great improvement over the past generation. But are these changes really big enough for you to make the upgrade? So if you're on the 4th generation Apple TV or you have the Apple TV 4K, then you've got two options. So number one, if you're finding that your Apple TV is slow like I was and it's really lacking in performance, then absolutely this upgrade is for you and you're going to notice those effects immediately. In that case, I would encourage you to make the upgrade. But option 2, if you're finding that your performance is fine, it's not really bothering you, then there's really no need for you to upgrade to these advanced features. And in that case, I would encourage you to just upgrade to the brand new redesigned Siri remote, as you can buy this as a standalone and it does work with the previous generation Apple TVs. It's a much cheaper way for you to feel like you've upgraded your TV without actually upgrading your TV. And if you're new to Apple TV and you've never tried one of these before, then the brand new Apple TV 4K is a great device to start with. Though there are some other devices to keep in mind, including the new Google Chromecast with Google TV and the Amazon Fire Stick. I've had a side-by-side comparison from those to the Apple TV on my channel, and if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can see that. So the new Apple TV 4K is an all-around update from its predecessor. With a brand new redesigned Siri remote to increased performance on all fronts, it is a great upgrade. If you're looking for those performance improvements, it definitely delivers, but if you're just looking to upgrade your remote, that's an option too. Leave a comment down below to let me know your thoughts on the new Apple TV 4K and whether you'll be upgrading. As well, leave your questions down below if you have any, and I'll be sure to answer those. While you're down there, remember to hit the like button because it tells YouTube that videos like this don't suck, and hit that subscribe button to see more videos like this from me. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.